Hey there, I'm Laura A. Grace, and I am a writer and reviewer here at Beneath the Tangles. I'm so very excited that you are here. After a very long hiatus, we are finally continuing the ABCs of Shojo Manga. If you're not familiar with that and like to see from the beginning at the letter A, please check out the playlist because that has all of the videos there. But in case, like I said, if you're not familiar, basically what I'm doing is trying to find manga that fit different letters of the alphabet. They have to be an English translated title, and they have to be a shoujo to obviously fit the theme. Today, we are kicking off with the letter E. I don't remember when we did the letter D, but here is a link to it up in the cards if you'd like to check it out. I've had a lot of things go down, like my AC going down, or going out, I should say, and then things happening with some family members, and then just school starting again for my kiddos. But I'm so very excited and very thankful to be back filming this video series. It has been so very fun. But I have to say, for the letter E, it was really, really hard, friends. It was really hard. I was really shocked. I couldn't find any digital manga that started with the letter E. Now, keep in mind, I know that Japanese titles probably start with the letter E, but I only did English translated titles just for ease and because I don't really look up Japanese titles since I mainly just read in English only. So I found two. But here's the thing. For one of them, I actually bought this manga specifically for this video, and that is Everyone's Getting Married. Now, I know this is published under Shoujo Beat Manga, which typically, only does shoujo, but this is actually a josei title. And I was like, I didn't realize that when I got it. I just assumed it was shoujo because it's published under Shoujo Beat. So I am going to feature it, despite that technically it is a josei and not a shoujo manga. But I've skimmed through this volume. I haven't actually sat down and read it straight through, though I do have volumes 2 through 6 checked out at my library or on hold, however you want to say that. I don't know what I'm going to do if I love this series because they don't have volumes 7, 8, and 9. This is a 9-volume series in total. But I will give a heads up that even though this is published under Shoujo Beat, this manga was rated M for mature, and so there wasn't anything spicy in this first volume, though I did hear that it does have some spice later on, so that's just something to be aware of. So I'm a little bit nervous about that because I don't typically read mature rated manga, but I really enjoyed what I read in this first volume. And as I was trying to say, in case if you're not familiar with this story, it is about our main girl here. Her name is Azuka, I believe that's how you say her name, but she's a very successful businesswoman, but she has a dream of being a homemaker. She wants to get married. She's working really hard at her job, or in her job, she's doing very well, and her longtime boyfriend, I think of like 5 years, he breaks up with her and she's really crushed because like I said, she loves her job, she's doing well at it, but she's still really wanting to get married. And now that dream just sort of went poof when her boyfriend broke up with her. Well, she meets this young man here, I forget his name, but she meets him and he is very adamant that he does not want to get married, but both of them hit it off very well. I think they were meeting, I'm assuming at a friend's wedding, and he's a newscaster, and I guess from his experience, he feels like marriage is an inconvenience. Like I said, they're hitting it off really well, so I think that this story is their love story. I'm assuming so. Based off of the covers that I've seen, but it's just, I guess they sort of maybe not bump heads per se, but I mean that's a pretty big difference if he's like adamant I think there was like a page where he's like, I'd rather die than get married, and she's like longing to be married. So hopefully it works out for the both of them. I'm not 100% very sure, but the art is very beautiful. It's very unique and seems like a very compelling adult romance. So these both are adults, and like I said, I mean I read the blurb, but like I said, I didn't make the connection that it was a josei since she's not in high school or anything, but it was published under Shoujo Beat. So hopefully this one counts for the letter E. Now, before that, this volume actually is a shoujo manga, and that is The Earl and the Fairy. Originally, this was the only manga that I could find that fits for the letter E, and I was like, man, but I've been really wanting to read it, and I was so excited my library had it. I actually bought this first volume used because I really loved the first 2 volumes of this series. This is 4 volumes, though I will say this is an adaptation of a light novel series, though not the full series. And this is one time, like, the manga is excellent. It's very, very good. But when you get to volume 4 and it ends, not in a bad way, but you're like, this is not the end. Like, I don't know how to explain it except for when I read the end of volume 4, I knew that I'm like, this can't be it. Like, it's a good ending, but you just know that there should be more that happens. And I so desperately wish that the light novels had been published in English because I want to know what happens more with these two. But in case if you're not familiar with this series follows our young girl here. Her name is Lydia, and she is a fairy doctor, so she's able to see these magical creatures around her, and she's able to loosely interact with them, sometimes more powerfully than others. And as she's sort of just going about her own business, because a lot of people are very leery of her and they think she's sort of crazy because they can't see very, any kind of magical creatures, but she can. And she's like, I know that they're here. Well, she ends up actually getting kidnapped by this young man, and that would be Eggert here. And he claims that he is the ruler, or more or less like the king of the fairy kingdom, but he needs her help to unravel this mystery to be able to claim the throne. And the first 2 volumes have the very heavy mystery overtone, which I absolutely loved. It made me remember how much I love mystery novels. Like, I loved the Cat Who books growing up, and I just forgot about it, even though I fail so horribly, guys, at actually solving the mystery. But the first 2 volumes have a very great mystery, and these two have to work very closely together. And Eggert is one of the most interesting heroes I've read about because he lies about so many things, and there's so many times that you're questioning, is he sincere? And then when he is sincere, it feels like it's a little bit too late, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of interesting things that are going on between them as well, just as a whole. But I really love how Lydia does not put up with Eggert's shenanigans whatsoever, and rightfully so. It actually took me volumes 3 and 4 to really come to like Eggert's character, because when you meet him, things really start out with a bang. I feel like volumes 3 and 4 do take a little bit of a turn of events where there's still a mystery, but it's a lot more intense, and you learn more about Eggert's backstory. And you get the backstory, but again, at the end of volume 4, I mean, I just wanted so much more. I just wanted so much more. In fact, I was really surprised, like, if you are not interested in reading the manga, or it's hard to find because I know it's currently out of stock everywhere, there is an anime. There is an anime, and I was very surprised, though I did hear that the anime is different than the manga and the light novel, so I was a little bit iffy to try it, but there is an anime if you're ever interested. When I last checked, it was on Crunchyroll. I don't know if it's still there, but that is another option. And like I said, there were no digital manga titles that started with the letter E, and I was like, why is the letter E so unpopular? What did the letter E deserve or do to deserve such little manga titles that start with the letter E? I mean, at least they're published in English, and hopefully in the future we'll get more, because it just makes me sad. Like, I mean, this is technically a josei, so probably should just help the Earl and the Fairy, but I love the cover of Everyone's Getting Married. I love this bright red background and just our characters, and even the back is really, really nice. And the one of the Earl and the Fairy is really nice because I love this cat. He's such a hoot. He brings some great humor into the story. So I honestly feel like the Earl and the Fairy is one of those interesting stories that doesn't just fit like one genre. Like, it's not just romance, or it's not just mystery, it's not just historical feel. Like, it has just all these different genres that overlap. So I think this is a really good series if you're looking for something that's heavy on the mystery, brings a little bit of danger and excitement, and is just one that really sucks you in with the characters and wondering about their motivations and wondering what exactly is going to happen to Lydia in all of this. And is she going to cave? Maybe not cave. Is she going to start developing feelings for Eggert despite the shenanigans that he has done up to this point? Like, I really, really love this series and definitely recommend it, especially since it's only 4 volumes. I know I've said it twice, despite that it just ends and doesn't end with a very super fulfilling ending where you don't want more. So that's the only thing to keep in mind. But hopefully, with Everyone's Getting Married, hopefully I will enjoy this one. I don't know when the other volumes are supposed to come in from my library, but if I enjoy it, I don't know what I'm going to do because I wasn't planning to get the rest of the series, but that's okay. But here are my picks for the letter E. If you guys know of any titles that start with the letter E that are published in English, please let me know. I scored all these websites. I mean, I went to different publishers and I'm like, where are these titles? So yes, I would love to hear from you, friends. Also, let me know, have you read either of these titles? What did you think of Everyone's Getting Married if you've read it? I'm very, very curious about it as well. And as well as if you enjoy enjoyed The Earl and the Fairy, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!